Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be starting a new series on how to build, and it's really how you should start creating your own builds. Now, the reason you want to create your own builds is because a pro player's build won't do. It might get you through gold, but if you want to start having the best builds for you, you can't just rely on pro players because they will get situational items for that game, and their items most of the time complement their play style, which is what this episode will be about. It will be about how to make your build complement your play style. Now, first off, you have to figure out your play style. Some people are really good at hitting all their abilities, so getting power, a lot of power, will help them, or basic attacks with hunters. Getting a lot of power and about the same attack speed will help them, but other people might not like just going for power. They might prefer utility. For a hunter as well, you might like, there's this SMITE YouTuber, well, not just SMITE, he plays other games, called Tide Time, who he does SMITE and Joust sometimes. He also streams SMITE, and he plays other games now, but he used to just mainly be in SMITE, and his play style is, for hunters, it's a lot of movement speed and a lot of attack speed, with his fire marshal build, which was basically what that was. And on Artemis, it was, you got stuff like movement, you got like Ninja Tabby, Hastened Fatalis was definitely in there. Heart Seeker was in the Season 3 one, I definitely know that, because you could get it on Hunters, but you can't anymore. It was, and it also had items like Chinsai Zane, and that was really focused on being able to move around dodge abilities and attacks, while being able to like just spray or like really fast. The attack speed came out like really high, and especially with Artemis's too, it was basically maxed. That's his playstyle, and also with mages, he likes a lot of cooldown reduction, things like that. He values that over power. Like, he prefers, at least in Season 3, he preferred Shoes of Focus to Shoes of the Magi, because he liked the cooldown, and then was added the mana on it, because his playstyle is more utility based, and he didn't, the power wasn't as valuable to him because of how he played. Now, you want to figure out your playstyle. My playstyle is sort of do like an initial burst, and then have a bit of sustain and get sustained damage off. So I really like on assassins, because I'm in jungle, I really like I should have it on here. I think this is wrong, but it has like Heartseeker on. Now Heartseeker, like, you get in, you burst them down with like Heartseeker, which gives you like an initial good burst, but then you have things like Hydra's Lament to keep that sustain and damage in there. Jotun's Wrath cooldown. I like a lot of cooldown and burst, in my assassins at least. In my hunters, I definitely prefer like, I definitely prefer a sort of movement speed, attack speed based with crit in there for that, and with items like Wind Demon, Poison Star, and haste and fatality getting like buffed, that's really helped me in the ADC role, and I do have to play it. My mages, and you can tell that I do like it with my mages because of my Poseidon build. I did change out Spear of the Magus in that, by the way, for Obsidian Shard, because I'm starting to value that a lot more. But I don't go for the cooldown on this. I really like that extra power and penetration that Shoes of the Magi gives me at the start, so I can get those Krakens off. Not like a frequency of Krakens, but the Krakens will hit harder, because I predict and expect that they will hit really hard. So when it comes through, it's great for me. So when you figure out your playstyle, so say you have a utility playstyle on a hunter, for example. So I miss why does that build keep popping up? That was a bad build. You're gonna want to get items like, if you like utility and you like the attack speed and movement speed, being able to like run really fast. You know, your auto attacks don't hit as hard, but you can get a lot of them off. It's a bit like with Carly. Your auto attacks aren't hitting as hard for somebody who's building like just crit, but you're getting a lot of them off. So you're gonna build definitely items like haste and fatalis. Like that is a must if you're utility. And even now it's really a must. It's a very good item for how cheap it is. And even with the attack speed being nerfed, I mean 10% movement speed still and 10 penetration is great. Wind Demon can help you if you do like auto attacks hitting and movement speed, but you're willing to sacrifice some attack speed for that. If your auto attacks hitting harder, you can do that route as well. For mages, I'd recommend if you want to be kind of like an ADC mage, so you like the auto attack side of things, you're gonna want to get like Kronos, even though Kronos isn't as good now. Freya, Poseidon, obviously Sol. Those are like the main ones that use their auto attacks really well. And Zeus did used to, but not anymore. But say gods like Scylla. Scylla has a very like your abilities hit. You want your abilities to hit really hard. Cooldown doesn't do as well until like sacrificing your power for lots of cooldown. Like so, getting Shoes of Focus over the Shoes of the Magi isn't a good option on Scylla. You want that power because you want your abilities to just hit hard, because you're 1 and 2 with about 90%. Now on most mages, like the higher scaling means you can get away with less damage, but on Scylla, her scaling is very good, and her abilities, they just do well with power behind them. And also penetration as well, because 25% pen, that is a lot for an ability. If you prefer like burst, Poseidon again, like Poseidon can be built sustain or burst, or a bit of both. Other good burst mages, Vulcan can hit very hard, Thoth can, but he's like, you have to do it in those like stages, and that's a lot more technical. Agni, if you can get your stuns off, he can do a lot of burst. Anubis, with your stun ult. Aokwon, obviously, he did get the nerf in the jungle, which means he isn't really viable. But if the enemy team has a weak early game, like a really weak early game, you're going to want to get Aokwon, because they won't be able to punish it, and you'll be able to get to late really easily without having too much of a problem. Also Hebo, burst, obviously, as I mentioned, Scylla, Janus definitely with the portal and his unstable vortex. But that's really it on your playstyle. Tailoring your build to your playstyle will improve not just being able to like out damage your opponent and kill them quicker, It'll also improve like just your general play, because your build's going to be complementing it, and your playstyle's going to be complementing your build, vice versa. And it'll just make it really strong rather than like in utility cooldown and stuff, but just building pure power. So you feel like you're not doing as much as you want to be able to do. And make sure your builds do complement your playstyle. If you have an aggressive playstyle, go for aggressive builds. If you're on a safe god like Janus, you can get away with building something like a Doom Orb, as long as you're willing to sit back, you know, not really do much, but once you get those like 50 stacks, start, you know, using your get into lanes, you're going to be dealing massive amounts of damage. It's definitely a risk, but you only want to get Doom Orb on gods that are safe. So Janus is an extremely safe god. Agni, extremely safe. Those are, Thoth is quite safe. If they don't have an initial like stun that can stop you, get like, say if they have a slow or a root but not a cripple, you can use like your 3-2 to get out of that. Isis isn't like very safe, even though she has a movement speed. Ryu can like sit back, sustain in the mid lane. And like with assassins, before with Heartseeker in like season 1, that was like the Doom Orb, and that was like a risk, like a very big risk, but it was an extremely good item to get, because assassins are actually quite safe until like the late game, because they can escape really easily. A lot of them have good escapes. Arachne can like slow a target, and her ult is an extremely good escape because she's immune from damage. Wheelix can do the dash, Bakasura jump, Bastet jump, Camazot's small jump but his ult, again, very good. Fenrir jumps, Brutalize his ult. Humbat's jump, Kali jump, Loki, stealth and teleport, Mercury has the dash, Nemesis dash, Ratatoska dash, Circuit dash and jump, Susanoo, well, he can just go out anywhere he wants instantly. Thanatos, loads of movement speed. Thor, his hammer can get him very far away. It's a very long teleport, not a dash, but a teleport. It's very good with that. So I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope you learned something from it, is the main thing. And in the next video, we're going to be moving on to what you should look for in your early game items, which are your generally first 2 to 3 items in the game. And so I will see you in the next one. Bye.